We're gonna look at Walt Whitman. Okay, if anybody likes Walt Whitman, I'm gonna look at him in just a couple of minutes. Some of his material is like articles and essays and reviews that he wrote and were typed in various books. So the books are there, so you can just type. If you like Walt Whitman, you can just type from the books, and you wouldn't be worried about trying to read somebody's cursive. There's Joseph Holt, who is a judge advocate general during during the Civil War. Frederick Olmsted, who designed Central Park. If you like any kind of landscaping stuff, he has about 14% that still needs to be started and typed. Yeah. There is James Garfield. He still has stuff to be done. Teddy Roosevelt is done, but you can read his stuff if you want to get in there. Okay. Yeah. Here's Spanish legal documents from between 13 and 1800. There's sheet music. And there's this woman. Has anybody ever heard of Hannah Arendt? I've never heard of her. But she escaped the Nazis, and she was Jewish, escaped the Nazis, and became a political intellectual here in the United States. And so she still has, like 6% of her stuff hasn't been started yet. Any questions so far? You good? Yeah. It's actually, once you get going with this, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I picked Louis, and I'm gonna look at his stuff, and you click on View Projects to get started. Okay? And then different groups of material come up. So this is correspondence and other papers. This is letter books. I don't know the difference, okay? But that's how they're grouped. And you click on Not Started. So he's got over 4,000 documents that haven't been typed yet. Okay. So you select, you go on there and then look for things that see if you could read them, right? Okay. Some of the paper is really thin. Keep looking around until you find something that you can type. Okay. So here's Lewis. All right. And basically this screen comes up with this blank right here. I typed in the word "and," but that's blank. Okay. So all you're going to do is type what you see. And when you're done, you hit save. So you're not trying to create a PDF, you're not trying to upload or email people, you're not doing any of that. It's all you're typing directly onto the Library of Congress's website. Whoever designed this is I just think it's brilliant to have figured all this stuff out. Plus, can you imagine scanning all this stuff? Yeah. Oh God, there's some intern somewhere probably. Okay, so to make the image bigger, right? You have a plus and a minus here, or you can use this here to make the material bigger. And we're going to actually look live on their website. You use the mouse to move the letter up and down. Okay. And then you would just start typing. Okay. Now, this here, these three right here. The first symbol flips the page from front to back so that the writing would look backwards. If handwriting is bleeding through, if you flip it, sometimes you can read it better. Okay, I wouldn't suggest doing any of that I would suggest finding stuff like this first and then start doing some other things. This here controls brightness and different other filters. When you're done, you would hit reset all to go back to normal. And then this thing changes to a full screen. And then this winds up down here. I wouldn't mess with these until you feel a little, what you don't want to do is do something that makes you uncomfortable, like I can't get this. You don't want to get frustrated. Okay? You guys have any questions so far?
Actually, I do.
Yeah.
So say two of us here start when we start doing this, and we happen to pick the same thing. Does it?
Whoever saves it first.
Okay, so we both could be doing it, and then one hits save and it works, and the other's like, sorry. you
I'm
did
not
all
quite
that.
sure, like, I don't know. Let me back that up. I think that it would be whoever hit save first, and then it would go under your account.
Right. Show the other person.
I don't know what happens to her stuff if she's typing, and that would be,
I
you
just
know, you're
wonder if there's a way
talking.
to block it out. Like if one was in process, then
Right.
nobody else could.
Yes, and that is one of the things, but I don't know if you both start on an empty document. Maybe they do consider it in process, but you haven't saved it yet. You know what I mean? So
Can
I'm
you
not
save,
quite
can
sure.
you save it multiple times?
Yes.
I mean, type the first line and then save, and then that's yours to finish.
You could do that too, I
So
guess.
you can
Yeah,
keep
and then that would
saving.
move it to the that would move it to the this in progress here.
Okay.
But if you're both starting and you're starting at the, I'm not quite sure how what the chances are for something like that happening. You know what I mean? Because you would have to start at the exact instant.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure. I just really started playing with this ever since I was like, oh, this looks cool. Let's do this.
But we save. The site isn't saving at an automatic interval.
No, you have to save it.
Kind of like the old days. Remember when you had to save it?
Yes.
Yes,
Or
yes.
you lose it?
Yes. And so you get stuck, right? And here's these things. Remember I told you that it's the same stuff. It's all over the place, all over this website. You can hit the how-to guide and then look up stuff. Okay? But like I
Okay.
said, I've got most of it that I've run off for you guys. And so basically, so let's look. And let me see if you guys can see this on here. Can you read that? And I have, and myself, the youngest resident at the foot. It says foot, but I think the guy meant fort. And then colon, after the usual salutations through, right? THRO with an apostrophe is through, but you type what they did
Yeah.
because you're saving their grammar and their spelling. Okay? And so, and you even keep the lines. So it's kind of like on a typewriter, right? Remember the old typewriters? You always had to hit the return to get to the next line. That's what you're doing here too. Okay? All right?
Yep.
You guys with me so far?
Yep.
Okay, so, like I said, you have to hit enter after each line so the lines stay the same. Here's save, right? And I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes how to go back to something if you've totally logged out of it and it's a new day and you want to go back. I'll show you how to do that. And then when you're finished, you hit submit for review. And then somebody else will look at it. You can't review your own stuff. Okay?
Now, what if I just finish that one page and that's all I have time for today? Do I hit submit for review?
No, well, you hit save.
Right.
And
But
if this
then-
page is totally finished and you've like double checked it and all, yeah, you could do, because they're doing document by document. They're not doing like a chapter or something or like
Okay. So it's page by page.
page by
Yeah.
page. Okay, so let's look at some transcription style guidelines here. Okay, so you keep the author's original spelling, just fix if it was like something small, all right? For misspellings of names or other significant keywords, you use tags to add the correct term to the item, and I'll explain all that when we get to tags. If text is inserted or added later but should be read as part of a sentence, you bring it down into the line and type it in the order you would read it aloud. So this would really mean that what they really meant to say, right, was were endowed by nature with the same. Do you see what they did there? They just fit that by nature in where it should be in the sentence. Because if you were doing this, you would have stuck a little line going right here. This is where I would want it.
Well, but we used to use that little carrot
Yeah.
symbol.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
Olden
want to
days.
you want to feel old. So, somewhere in this stuff of these transcription stuff, they explain shorthand, and talk about how it was like a short, like it was like a code for words during the mid 20th century. Yeah. The idea that you have to like explain shorthand to anybody will age you real quick. Yeah. Okay. So, if you can read crossed out or otherwise deleted text, transcribe the deleted words within a pair of square brackets. Right? Everything is that they do is with square brackets because people normally will put parentheses. So they want it squared off so that you can see that it's something different. So I have always loved vanilla coffee ice cream. I got rid of vanilla and I really changed my mind and I want coffee there. You stick vanilla in the squared brackets to show that it's been blotted out. Okay. Can you imagine being married to somebody who came up with all these rules? That would be interesting, I think. All right. So you want to write the entire word, not hyphenate it. Hit return at the end of the line. Okay. So here, I think, does this say the last moment? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that is. So I have square brackets and I have a question mark. So when the reviewer comes, they know they got to figure out what that word is. Okay? As it were, and next line, almost immediately was presented. It goes all the way on the first line, on the line where the first part of the word is. Okay? To the president for his. And that's all there is of that. Okay? You guys good?
So you don't copy it exactly how they have it.
No,
You actually,
no. If they're, because right, like, and when I was doing this, I'm going, oh yeah, we don't hyphenate words anymore. Remember, you were writing stuff, and then you had to hyphenate, and then you're like saying it in your head, and then sometimes you had to look it up in the dictionary because you didn't know the correct hyphenation on words. Remember
Right.
that?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, except for you. Okay, if you see bold, italic, underlined, or superscript text, just don't put it in. Okay? Okay, so, oh, no, I gotta show you this. Sorry, I skipped the thing. Okay. When not to transcribe something. If you've got calendar from 1906 or the rates of postage, you don't need that. So you just click the nothing to transcribe button, which is right above the save and submit for review. Okay, so the only reason why I'm showing you this slide is to know where that button is. Okay. Okay, so
Deb, excuse me, could you go back to that last slide, because if it's the one before with the where not to just the calendar, okay. But if it's like a ledger, then you would transcribe.
yes,
Okay.
and they're actually have people transcribing like accounting ledgers.
Okay.
I just won't even go near that for a while. You know. Okay. Okay, so here you always start in the left-hand margin, and then you want to make sure that you have a line break in between paragraphs. Okay, and I found a mistake on this that I did. I'll show you. It's where it says, so this was the beginning paragraph. Here's the next one. Ah, my darling, precious wife, that child, and then hit the return, is ever present to my mind, and now how I so dwell upon her intrinsic loveliness and think over and over again of 1,000 sweet traits of character she possess. I thought it said possesses, but I really think it's, see where this here, 1,000, see how he did that D?
Mm-hmm.
That's the D there. When I read it initially, I thought it was an S, but I think the child died.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you see, because it has, doesn't that look like that says possessed right here? Yeah. Of her abiding love for me, but God's will must be done. And then you skip a line, and then love to all around you, skip a line, your own forever, skip a line, and he wrote his last name in case she's got more than one husband, I guess. I don't know. All right? And then you skip a line, and then you write, here, down in here would be Mrs. E.W. Goldsboro, and then Wurtland on the next line, and then the word after that is Virginia. Okay? But it's always in the left hand, and you just keep typing.
I have a question. So where he's used an and symbol, you type the word and.
Yeah, because I'm not quite sure what the and symbol would be. Would it be the ampersand?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question, and that might be in the things under transcription rules.
Okay.
But let's say, like, I'm not sure. I'll still send if that's the only thing, I'll send it for review.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll show you when something has been reviewed, and then you can go back and like look it up. And they also have emails that you can email people that work there, and they'll answer you back. Because they would answer me back within like a day or so. Okay, so tags. Okay, there's 13 tags on this page, from this page. Okay, and so if people are trying to look for something from Ellicott Mills, wherever that is, right? With this tag, they'll be able to find, it'll come up when you request anything to do with that town.
Oh, like an index or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or like a hashtag on Instagram. Okay? So this has 13 tags. You just add the tag and hit enter. And sometimes people will review, after when they're reviewing it, they'll also add any tags that aren't already there.
Wait,
Um,
how do you know that there's tags?
Because they're listed right here.
How do you know to
But
add
do
a
we
tag?
do that?
No, you
No.
don't have to. That's what I'm saying. So these are, if you were working on from transcription and it talks about Gettysburg or it talks about Antietam or whatever, you could make up a tag. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it because other people that have been doing this for a while are going to come behind you and look at it. Okay. Here, let me show you. So this is a document that I started working on, and I didn't put any tags in, but there's 5 tags there. So, okay, so let's look at Walt Whitman. Okay, I mentioned that he's got essays and he's written all this stuff, and the books are there. So we go to campaign. Well, let me back up. We go to campaigns, and we want Walt Whitman. And then we hit not started, right? And then we can pick something, and we're gonna look. I'm gonna look at this in a minute online, but so we're gonna pick. I'm picking this, right? If this came up. So this would be that marginal. When I said if it's in the margins, if something is written in the margins, okay, this would go at the top because look what it says. To Charles Feinberg. A small contribution to your collection from Joseph Beaver. Yeah, all right. And here, if you look, all of these are the Charles E. Feinberg collections, okay? So you would put that at the top of this, and then the title, which I can't read. So you can just have question marks because the guy wrote all over the title. Now, if you flip it, you might be able to read the words, right? You know, I talked about how you could flip stuff. And then you'd start, Walt Whitman would go in the left-hand side. The next line you're going to have, is that a 1? I'm not quite sure. I think so. And then skip a line and then start typing paragraphs. Okay, so if you, like I said, if you like Walt Whitman, you want to do this, you don't want to try and like go blind trying to read cursive, you can do this. Okay?
So we typed information even though it's already there.
Yes,
I guess,
and yes,
okay.
because it's not online.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
It's
you're putting
just-
all this
oh,
stuff.
okay.
You're trying to put this stuff online. I was at a webinar and they had like a panel, and there were all these people have been doing this for a long time, and some of these women we're talking about. There's a website, and if you're really interested, I could find out more about this. But there's a website that will allow you to put books online, but you have to pick the book, and then you have to go, I don't know, to the Library of Congress or somebody with copyrights to make sure that there's no copyright against that book. And then you can type it if you want and submit it for this organization to put it online. But you'd be typing the whole book.
Wow.
And these women were talking about it. It's like, yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so let's look here. What did I want to show you here? Oh, yeah. So this is like one of his books, and it's just like I said, you would have 628 and poet-love, and then you're typing. And when you get down, and making page breaks. And when you get down, you just do another page break, and you start up here. Like I said, because these are 2 pages, but 1 document. So it's all going to be on the same document. Okay? Are we good so far?
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay. So, you've saved this. you've left, you've come back the next day, you go to the account, and you're going to click on your email address, and you're going to click on profile, and profile comes up, and then you see this page, and this page, it gives you recent pages worked on, and then you can find the stuff that you've done. Okay, and right here I want to go to page 96. Go to the page, don't go to this, because if you go to this, you wind up getting one of these, and then your stuff is buried, and then you're looking for it. Okay, so go to the page number, not the campaign item. Okay, so say you finish a page and you want to start another page. All right, you make sure you saved everything, and then you can click on this page up here with the little caret, go down to page 97, and then hit the go arrow, right? Or you can hit to either go to the previous page or the next page. You guys okay so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's get in here. Okay, so here I am. I click on me. There's my profile. Here's recent pages worked on. Okay. And you can see here, I transcribed this, but it says that it's in progress. So I'm not finished with that page yet. Okay. These all says needs reviewed because I said submit for review. Okay, and let me see. Let's say I go to page 96. All right, and I realized that there was something wrong. I can edit my page. Okay. It allows me to edit it, and then I have to save it again and submit for review. Okay. Are you guys all right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think so far?
Interesting.
Does it seem?
And it makes me feel safe that, like, if I mess up, somebody's gonna check it after me and after them. So
Yeah.
you just do your best.
It's not like you're doing this and then whatever you're typing is gospel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you hit save. Are you saying like after every line?
No, I'm saying save at the end of the document or wherever you finish. You hit return to get to the next
But
line.
I think we were talking about to keep somebody else from doing what you were doing.
Yeah, I see. I'm not. Yes, and you would only have to save it. You would only have to save it once.
Like if I were sitting there doing something and I'm like, oh, bathroom, I'm gonna save, go to the bathroom, come back. Or say the dog comes over with a toy and just won't leave me alone. I'm gonna save, there's the dog, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back.
Okay.
Now, can you edit if you've already saved it,
Mm-hmm.
but not if you submitted it for review?
No, let's see. Okay, so I have recent pages worked on. Okay, and I have page 10, which I'm not sure what this was. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So this is. I don't remember doing this.
The edit button still comes up.
Huh?
Okay, so you can still
Mhm.
edit.
Yes.
Then what's
Yes.
accept?
Yes.
Is that after you edit?
Yes. I don't even remember doing this. Huh. Okay, well, it's been a while. I guess I don't know. It's been. Okay, so do you guys get the idea with this?
Mm-hmm.
You good? Okay, so. Oh, let me go over here. Okay, so, starting Wednesday, there are new campaigns coming up, because most of it's done, and you kind of want to look at fresh new stuff, right? So there's 5 different things that are coming open on Wednesday. The Shippen family. You had William Sr. was in the Continental Congress. William Jr. was head of hospital for the entire Continental Army during the Revolution. Shippensburg was named after Edward, who is a brother of William Sr. And then Edward's granddaughter married Benedict Arnold. And Edward's family were loyalists at some point. And so that's how Benedict Arnold got turned, because he wanted to make sure his wife wasn't bitching all the time. So
Gotcha.
here we are.
Interesting.
Right? Margaret Bayard Smith, she had some correspondence with her sisters. She was a DC socialite. She was there during the War of 1812. She had visits to Thomas Jefferson and James and Dolly Madison's homes. She had people over for dinner. She had these guys over for dinner. You imagine, George and Martha, what would you like to have to drink? Like, are you kidding me? And so she became an authority on Washington politics, because she was there when everybody was talking about how they were going to form the country, which I just think is so cool. Okay, Anna Thornton. Her husband designed the U.S. Capitol and a home that George Washington's nephew married Martha Washington's granddaughter, and he designed their house. Okay, yeah. Now this is a crazy story. She had diaries about the operation of her household, and there's like 50 or 60 years. Probably like 50 years of diaries that are here in this collection. Because she got married at 15, because that's what they all did to some 30-year-old guy. She had slaves, so she managed slaves, right? She visited the Washingtons, Jefferson, the Madisons. She recorded Dolly Madison's movements during the burning of the White House in the War of 1812. And according to, because then I wound up going down a rabbit hole. That's the problem. You're going to go down, it's block Wikipedia, because then you just will never get anything done. I started reading about this woman. So her diaries were used by modern researchers to see what Dolly did during the war, because I think wasn't she the one who took out all of the paintings from the different presidents and stuff. She saved a lot of stuff. And how do they know this? Because this lady wrote about it, and we get to look at her stuff. It's cool. Okay, so here's just a little thing here.
Dolly's spelled differently. Or it says Dolly Madison with the E
Good
as in
point.
table.
Thank you. I got to fix that. Well, that's not on the screen, but that's me. I screwed that up.
That was your
This is my stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Anything that doesn't have like the Library of Congress on it, that's all like my stuff.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
They sent it,
Yeah, I
to let us know.
as many times as I've reviewed
You'd be
this.
good at this.
Yeah, you're gonna be good. You'll be the reviewer. So she's 60 years old. Her husband's dead. She's 60 years old. The one of her slaves, who's 19, gets super drunk, takes a machete, and winds up breaking into her bedroom. She escapes, and now the townspeople want to string this guy up, right? Because they all have slaves, and you can't, God forbid, you let them do anything. So they put him in jail. While he's in jail, I'm assuming, he writes a letter. I'm assuming that he apologized. I'm assuming. And then started talking about how awful the conditions of the jail was. Right? Anna winds up getting all of her influential friends to sign a petition, which she takes to Andrew Jackson, asking for her slave to be pardoned. He pardons the slave. She then immediately sells him to a guy that's moving to Florida, because she wanted to save him, because she couldn't leave him there, because the townspeople would have eventually got him. So he goes off to Florida. Modern researchers think that the reason why she did that was so that the townspeople couldn't get her, but they also think that that slave was her husband's son, because she didn't have any kids, and she had a soft spot for this guy. I don't know. People like
But
just.
why would he want to kill her?
Well, what she did in the letter that she addressed to Andrew Jackson, it was demon wrong. He didn't know what he was doing. Which, I don't know. God only knows what they were brewing, because, the FDA wasn't around to make sure that they weren't like making alcohol. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so where did I go? There's rare book collections, which I can't even imagine what the Library of Congress thinks of as a rare book, that you'll be able to type instead of trying to find cursive, or early American copyright ledgers, if you're into that kind of thing. So, Okay, so I want to show you this. So this is a bank envelope, and on the back is Rosa Parks's pancake recipe that somebody typed and put in this. Is that not cool? Right?
Have you tried the recipe?
No, but it's got peanut butter in it.
Oh my
A third of a
God.
cup of peanut butter.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cute.
So where do you see this one? So this one, because I was trying to get as much information about the new collections that are coming up, and this, it did let you really look at it. So it's kind of blurry, but can you see who wrote it? It's George Washington. Wrote it to one of these women, and I don't remember which one. So, not every document is going to be a letter from Washington or a recipe from Rosa Parks, okay? Because the writers had mostly normal days, which are nothing that we would ever see anyway, right? But then when you do find something, it's going to be cool. So, okay, so, do you guys have... Oh, coming in November. More sheet music, cookbooks, I'm assuming from personal cookbooks, because they're not going to have you type in, I don't think, Betty Crocker from 1950, you know? And a series of atlases, and I am totally, like, not good with directions, so I'm not even going to, like, bother looking at what that is. I don't know. So the question is, what do you guys think?
Very
Very
interesting.
interesting.
Very interesting.
Cool. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on how this works or anything?
I do have one.
Yeah.
And I think it was the Walt Whitman
Yes.
example you had earlier. There was a picture at the top. Do you have to note anything for something like that?
That's a good question. Wait, let me see.
And I might have been wrong. It might have been Walt Whitman. But
Okay, so I'm going to all campaigns and I'm going down to Walt Whitman. Like this picture here.
right.
I don't think so. Because how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Here, let's see. There's something here. Let's see what they did. Okay. Oh, man. Look what I just picked up.
Because there's a letterhead there. So,
There's a letterhead, so
yeah.
you're writing the letterhead, and look what it writes. Insane Asylum,
Oh.
London, Ontario, from 1900.
So you just type the words and
Yes.
go on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dear Innes. I don't know.
Hmm.
But it's, you know, it's cool. So
So what you're saying is, if the picture with no words, there's nothing to type, and you don't put any kind of notation that there was a picture
Right.
there.
right. Okay.
Cool.
So I assume at some point somebody's going to match the picture up with the, not us, but somebody
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. And, you know, and that's a case where you know, can go, like I did, like go find something similar to see how they handled it.
Okay.
You know, and if not, just type it. You can even put like a question mark, like, you know, I don't know if I should put this picture in or not, kind of thing. And then you can go back to the pages that you already worked on, and like I did, go back to the recent pages and then find it, and then see how someone else reviewed it.
Okay.
Okay. Are you guys good? So, I have a question, and it's entirely up to you. What I'd like for you guys